Good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. I was thinking maybe some songs about stories. I think that might be appropriate for today. So let us find some songs like that. Hope your day is going well. Hope you are healthy. Hope you're able to work from home and you're comfortable and life is good. And all right, here's a story. Here's a story about a man who's excited to get home to see his bride, who he has been gone for 6 days. Well, I pulled out of Pittsburgh, rolling down that eastern sea line. I've got my diesel wound up, and she's a running like never before. There's a speed zone ahead, all right. I don't see a cop inside. 6 days on the road, and I'm gonna make it home tonight. I got me 10 forward gears and a Georgia overdrive. I'm taking little white pills, and my eyes are open wide. I just passed a Jimmy in a white. I've been passing everything inside. 6 days on the road, and I'm gonna make it home tonight. Well, it seems like a month since I kissed my baby goodbye. I could have a lot of women, but I ain't that kind of guy. I could find one to hold me tight, but I can never make believe it's all right. 6 days on the road, and I'm gonna make it home tonight. Well, the ICC is a checking on down the line. I'm a little overweight, and my logbook's way behind. But nothing bothers me tonight. I can dodge all the scales all right. 6 days on the road, and I'm gonna make it home tonight. Well, my rig's a little old, but that don't mean she's slow. There's a flame from a stack, and it's blowing black as coal. My hometown's coming inside. If you think I'm happy, you're right. 6 days on the road, and I'm gonna make it home tonight. 6 days on the road, and I'm gonna make it home tonight. 6 days on the road, and I'm gonna make it home tonight. How about this song? About a man and a motorcycle and his love, Molly. Says Red Molly to James, well, that's a fine motorbike. A girl could feel special on any such like. Said James to Red Molly, my hat's off to you. It's a Vincent Black Lightning 1952. And I seen you on the corners and cafes, it seems. Red hair and black leather, my favorite color scheme. And he pulled her on behind, and down to Box Hill they did ride. Said James to Red Molly, here's a ring for your right hand. But I tell you in earnest, I'm a dangerous man. I fought with the law since I was 17. I robbed many men to get my Vincent machine. Now I'm 21 years, I might make 22. And I don't mind dying, but for the love of you. And if fate should break my stride, then I give you my Vincent to ride. Come down, Red Molly, called Sergeant McQuaid, for they taken young James 80 for armed robbery. Shotgun blast hit his chest, left nothing inside. Oh, come down, Red Molly, to his dying bedside. When she came to the hospital, there wasn't much left. He was running out of road. He was running out of breath. But he smiled to see her cry and said, I'll give you my Vincent to ride. In my opinion, Molly, there's nothing in this world beats a 52 Vincent and a red-headed girl. Now Nortons and Indians and Greaveses won't do. Oh, they don't have a soul like a Vincent 52. Well, he reached for a hand and he slipped her the keys. He said, I got no further use for these. I see angels on arrows in leather and chrome, swooping down from the heavens to carry me home. and he gave her one last kiss and died. And he gave her his Vincent to ride. And he gave her his Vincent to ride. Okay, how about a song about another truck driver whose heart's been broke, and those big wheels of rubber are going to rub her out of his mind. 100 cups of coffee, 500 cigarettes, 1,000 miles of highway, and I ain't forgot her yet. But I keep on moving. I keep on moving on down the line. Ain't nothing in my rear view, just a cloud of dust and smoke. What do you expect when some old trucker heart gets broke? Yeah, old trucker's heart get broke. Well, them big wheels of rubber gonna rub her off of my mind. I'm a highway junkie. I need that old white line. 10 miles out of Nashville, I was doing about 91. State boy pumped me over, said, "Where's the fire, son? Where's the fire, son?" I said, "There ain't no fire. I'm just running from a flame. Go on and write your ticket, but I ain't the one to blame. Oh, that country John tried to rob me blind. Those big wheels of rubber gonna rub her off of my mind. I'm a highway junkie. I need that old white line." I said, "Them big wheels of rubber gonna rub her off of my mind. I'm a highway junkie. I need that old white line." So I rode on into Memphis. I got nothing left to lose. Wanted to hear some rock and roll, but all they played was blues. Didn't want to hear no blues. So I tried to call up Elvis, but Roger Miller grabbed the phone. Said, "Drop them 18-wheelers, boy. You're the king of the road. You're the king of the road." Well, those big wheels of rubber gonna rub her off of my mind. I'm a highway junkie. I need that old white line. I said, "Them big wheels of rubber gonna rub her off of my mind. I'm a highway junkie. I need that old white line. I need that old white line." How about oh, here's a song about a man and a woman going through marriage and having some tough times, but surviving to have some great times. We learned the hard way. Love's not always easy. Nothing worth having ever came around that way. Oh, but we never ran when the rain started falling. That's why we're standing in the sunshine today. We just love and keep loving, dream and keep dreaming, walk and keep walking, though the road may get rough. Hold and keep holding on to each other, always believing, always work for us. Well, we never say never, and we never say die. Now that's not to say that we never cried. Against all the odds, I made it somehow, and I can't imagine giving up now. We just love and keep loving, dream and keep dreaming, walk and keep walking, though the road may get rough. Hold and keep holding on to each other, always believing, always work for us. Always believing, always work for us. How about, oh, yeah, let's do this. This is a song about A man who has lost his sweetheart. What did you think I would do at this moment when you're standing before me with tears in your eyes, trying to tell me that you have found you another and you just don't love me no more? What did you think I would say at this moment when I'm faced with the knowledge that you just don't love me? Do you think I would curse you or say things that hurt you? 'Cause you just don't love me no more. Did you think I could hate you or raise my hands to you? Now come on, you know me too well. But how could I hurt you when, darling, I love you? And you know I'd never hurt you. No, no. What did you think I would give at this moment? If you'd stay, I'd subtract 20 years from my life. I'd fall down on my knees, kiss the ground that you walk on, if I could just hold you again. I'd fall down on my knees, kiss the ground that you walk on, baby, if I could just hold you. If I could just hold you. If I could just hold you again. Drop my water bottle. Billy Vera. The amazing Billy Vera. Okay, how about I'm feeling what's that song called again? By the Band of Heathens. Oh, come on. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. But in the meantime, how about let's do Big Iron. No, let's do Big Bad Joan, then Big Iron. That'd be a good one. Big Joan, Big Bad Joan, Big Joan, Big Bad Joan. Every morning at the mine, you could see him arrive. He stood 6'6" and weighed 245, kind of broad at the shoulder and narrow at the hip. And everybody knew you didn't give no lip to Big John. Big John, Big Bad Joan, Big John, Big Bad Joan. Nobody seemed to know where John called home. He just drifted into town and stayed all alone. He didn't say much, kind of quiet and shy. And if you spoke at all, you just said hi to Big John. Somebody said he came from New Orleans, where he got in a fight over a Cajun queen, and a crashing blow from a huge right hand sent a Louisiana fella to the promised land. Big John. Big John, Big Bad Joan, Big John, Big Bad Joan. Then came the day at the bottom of the mine when a timber cracked and men started crying. Miners were praying and hearts beat fast, and everybody thought they breathed their last, except John. Through the dust and the smoke of this man-made hell walked a giant of a man that the miners knew well. Grabbed a sagging timber and gave out with a groan, and like a giant oak tree just stood there alone. Big John. Big John, Big Bad Joan, Big John, Big Bad Joan. And with all of his strength, he gave a mighty shove, and then a miner yelled out, "There's a light up above." 20 men scrambled from a would-be grave, and now there's only one left down there to save, Big John. With jacks and timbers, they started back down. Then came the rumble way down in the ground, and smoke and gas belched out of that mine. And everybody knew it was the end of the line for Big John. Big John, Big Bad Joan, Big John, Big Bad Joan. Now they never reopened that worthless pit. They just placed a marble stand in front of it. These few words are written on that stand. At the bottom of this mine lays a big man. Big John, Big Bad Joan. Big John, Big Bad Joan. The story of an outlaw who has come to justice at the hands of a Texas Ranger. To the town of Agua Fria rode a stranger one fine day. Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say. No one dared to ask his business, no one dared to make a slip, for the stranger there among him had a big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. It was early in the morning when he rode into the town. He came riding from the south side, slowly looking all around. He's an outlaw loose and running, came the whisper from each lip, and he's here to do some business with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. In this town there lived an outlaw by the name of Texas Red. Many men had tried to take him, and those many men were dead. He was vicious and a killer, although a youth of 24, and the notches on his pistol numbered 1 and 19 more. 1 and 19 more. Now the stranger started talking, made it plain to folks around. Was an Arizona Ranger, wouldn't be too long in town. He came here to take an outlaw back alive or maybe dead. And he said it didn't matter, he was after Texas Red. After Texas Red. Wasn't long before the story was relayed to Texas Red. But the outlaw didn't worry, men that tried before were dead. 20 men had tried to take him, 20 men had made a slip. 21 would be the Ranger with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. The morning passed so quickly, it was time for them to meet. It was 20 past 11 when they walked out in the street. Folks were watching from their windows, everybody held their breath. They knew this handsome Ranger was about to meet his death. About to meet his death. There was 40 feet between them when they stopped to make their play. And the swiftness of the Ranger is still talked about today. Texas Red had not clear leather for a bullet fairly ripped. And the Ranger's aim was deadly with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. It was over in a moment and the folks had gathered round. There before them lay the body of the outlaw on the ground. Oh, he might have went on living, but he made one fatal slip when he tried to match the Ranger with the big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. Big iron, when he tried to match the Ranger with the big iron on his hip. How about a little Blue Collar from John Ward Hannum? I wasn't born blue blood. I was born blue collar, like my dad and granddad. I'm gonna follow. There ain't no money here. You gotta earn every dollar. I wasn't born blue blood. I was born blue collar. My daddy was a fireman on a locomotive train, shoveled coal to the furnace to generate the steam. Out to Pictou Harbor from the colliery's mine, along that tramway line. I wasn't born blue blood. I was born blue collar, like my dad and granddad. I'm gonna follow. There's no money here. You gotta earn every dollar. I wasn't born blue blood. I was born blue collar. My daddy was a farmer with acres of land. He cleared all the fields with a horse in his hands. That pile of stones at the section's edge stands as his monument. I wasn't born blue blood, I was born blue collar, like my dad and granddad. I'm gonna follow, ain't no money here, you gotta earn every dollar. I wasn't born blue blood, I was born blue collar. I wasn't born blue blood, I was born blue collar. My daddy was a lumberman in a shanty town, put his axe to the pines, and then he chopped them down. He floated them down the Miramichi till he rode them to that Chatham sawmill. I wasn't born blue blood, I was born blue collar, like my dad and granddad. I'm gonna follow, ain't no money here, you gotta earn every dollar. I wasn't born blue blood, I was born blue collar. I wasn't born blue blood, I was born blue collar. How about oh, let's do Church of the Long Grass, another John Ward Hannum song. All right, a little coordination problems there, but I got it back together. 35 degrees for the last 6 days. Sure as hell hasn't helped the Blairmore blaze, but I can see that it's raining in the hills tonight. All wrapped up in a blanket of haze. 50,000 acres of timber raised, but I can see that it's raining in the hills tonight. I never found salvation in Jesus, whiskey or pills. I never found it in money or the good book. I found it here in these hills. And I belong to the Church of the Long Grass in the parish of the Porcupine Hills, where the grass can grow as cold as an old timer's tail. Some say longer still. Yeah, I belong to the Church of the Long Grass in the parish of the Porcupine Hills. I've always seen this land is holy. I guess I always will. Sadie was my girl since the age of 15, a homecoming and a beauty queen. And I hear she's still reigning in the town tonight. She fancied a fella of money and means, left me here crying like some old has-been. But I hear she's still reigning in the town tonight. Luke can be a little temperamental, but he's a reliable steed. If you rein him tight and sit tall in the saddle, he'll give you what you need. And I belong to the Church of the Long Grass in the parish of the Porcupine Hills, where the grass can grow as tall as an old timer's tail. Some say taller still. Yeah, I belong to the Church of the Long Grass in the parish of the Porcupine Hills. I've always seen this land is holy. I guess I always will. I've always seen this land is holy. I guess I always will. How about a little Cold Shoulder? There's a fire burning bright in our house tonight. A slow music playing and soft candlelight. On her lips I keep tasting the warm red wine. I'm there in her arms, but it's all in my mind. Snow is piled high on the highway tonight. I'm a ship lost at sea, in this ocean of wide. 18 wheels anchored somewhere out of Dover. I wish I could hold her instead of hugging this old cold shoulder. This old highway is like a woman sometimes. She can be your best friend, but she's a real jealous kind. She's the lady that leads me to the life I dreamed of. She's the mistress that keeps me from the ones that I love. Snow is piled high on the highway tonight. I'm a ship lost at sea on this ocean of white. 18 wheels anchored somewhere out of Dover. I wish I could hold her instead of hugging this old cold shoulder. And God, I wish I could hold her instead of hugging this old cold shoulder. All right, how about, I think it's time for the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Kind of a sad song. The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi. The lake, it is said, never gives up her dead when the skies of November turn gloomy. With a load of iron ore, 26,000 tons more than the Edmund Fitzgerald weighed empty. The good ship and crew was a bone to be chewed when the gales of November came early. The ship was the pride of the American side, coming back from some mill in Wisconsin. As the big freighters go, it was bigger than most, with a crew and good captain well seasoned, concluding some terms with a couple of steel firms when they left fully loaded for Cleveland. And later that night, when the ship's bells rang, could it be the north wind they've been feeling? The wind in the wires made a tattletale sound, and a wave broke over the railing. And every man knew, as the captain did too, 'twas the witch of November come stealing. The dawn came late, and the breakfast had to wait, when the gales of November came slashing. When afternoon came, it was freezing rain in the face of a hurricane west wind. When supper time came, the old cook come on deck, saying, "Fellas, it's too rough to feed you." At 7 p.m., a main hatchway caved in. He said, "Fellas, it's been good to know ya." The captain wired in, he had water coming in, and the good ship and crew was in peril. And later that night, when his lights went out of sight, came the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the waves turn the minutes to hours? The searchers all say they'd have made Whitefish Bay if they put 15 more miles behind her. They might have split up, or they might have capsized. They might have broke deep and took water. And all that remains is the faces and the names of the wives and the sons and the daughters. Lake Huron rolls, Superior sings in the rooms of her ice water mansion. Old Michigan steams like a young man's dreams. The islands and bays are for sportsmen. And farther down below, Lake Ontario takes in what Lake Erie can send her. And the iron boats go, as the mariners all know, with the gales of November remembered. In a musty old hall in Detroit, they prayed in the Maritime Sailors Cathedral. The church bell chimed till it rang 29 times for each man on the Edmund Fitzgerald. The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down of the big lake they call Gitchagumi. Superior, they said, never gives up her dead. When the gales of November come early. How about a public service announcement about poor Steve going too fast? Well, they gave him his orders, and Monroe, Virginia, said, Steve, you're way behind time. This is not 38, this is 097, and put her in dispenser on time. Then he turned around, said to his black greasy fireman, shovel on a little more coal. And when we cross that White Oak Mountain, watch 097 roll. And then a telegram came from Washington Station. This is how it read. All that brave engineer that run on 97 is lying in Danville dead. 'Cause he was going down a grade making 90 miles an hour. The whistle broke into a scream. He was found in the wreck with his hand on the throttle, scalded to death by the steam. 'Cause he was going down a grade making 90 miles an hour. The whistle broke into a scream. He was found in a wreck with his hand on the throttle, scalded to death by the steam. And now, all you ladies, you better take a warning from this time on and learn. Never speak harsh words to your true loving husband. He may leave you and never return. Just like that poor boy Steve. He was going down a grade, making 90 miles an hour. The whistle broke into a scream. He was found in a wreck with his hand on the throttle, scalded to death by the steam. Scalded to death by the steam. Okay, so now I'm changing it up. We're going to do train songs. How about Texas 1947? An experience of a boy seeing his first modern train. Now, being 6 years old, I'd seen some trains before, so it's hard to figure out what I'm at the depot for. Trains are big and black and smoking, steam screaming at the wheels, bigger than anything they is. At least that's the way she feels. Trains are big and black and smoking, louder than July 4th, but everybody's acting like this might be something more than just picking up the mail or the soldiers from the war. This is something even old man Wildman never seen before. And it's a late afternoon on a hot Texas day. Something strange is going on, and we're all in the way. Well, there's 50, 60 people. They're just sitting on their cars, and the old man left the dominoes, and they come down from the bars. Everybody's checking. Old Jack Kittrell checks his watch, and us kids put our ears to the rails to hear him pop. So we already noted when they finally said train time, you thought that Jesus Christ himself was rolling down the line, 'cause things got real quiet, and Mama jerked me back, but not before I got a chance to lay a nickel on the track. Look out, here it comes, he's coming. Look out, there she goes, she's gone. Screaming straight through Texas like a mad dog cyclone. Big and red and silver, she don't make no smoke. She's a fast rolling streamline, come to show the folks. Look out, here she comes, she's coming. Look out, there she goes, she's gone. Streaming straight through Texas like a mad dog cyclone. Lord, she never even stopped. She left 50, 60 people still sitting on their cars, wondering what it's coming to and how it got this far. But me, I got a nickel, smashed flatter than a dime by a mad dog runaway, red silver streamline. Look out, here she comes, she's coming. Look out, there she goes, she's gone. Streaming straight through Texas like a mad dog cyclone. Look out, here she comes, she's coming. Look out, there she goes, she's gone. Streaming straight through Texas like a mad dog cyclone. And then another train song. Rock Island Line. Let's do that. That's a good train song. Now, this is the story of the Rock Island Line. The Rock Island Line, she runs down into New Orleans. There's a big toll gate down there, and you know, if you got certain things on board, well, you don't have to pay the man no toll. Well, the train driver, he pulled up to the toll gate, and the man asked him what he had on board, and he said, I got livestock, I got livestock, I got cows, I got pigs, I got sheep, I got mules, I got all livestock. Well, he said, you're all right, boy. You don't have to pay no toll. You just go right on through. So he went on through the toll gate, and as he went through, he started picking up a little bit of speed, adding on a little bit of steam. He got on through, and he turned back at the man. He said, I fooled you. I fooled you. I got pig iron. I got pig iron. I got all pig iron. Well, the Rock Island Line, she's a mighty good road. Rock Island Line, she's a road to ride. Rock Island Line is a mighty good road. If you're going to ride it, got to ride it like you finally get your ticket at the station for the Rock Island Line. It was cloudy in the west, looked like rain. Round the corner came a passenger train, northbound train on a southbound track. They're all right leaving, but they won't be back. Well, the Rock Island Line, she's a mighty good road. Rock Island Line is a road to ride. Rock Island Line is a mighty good road. If you're going to ride it, got to ride it like you finally get your ticket at the station for the Rock Island Line. Now, I may be right and I may be wrong, but you're going to miss me when I'm gone. Well, the Rock Island Line is a mighty good road. Rock Island Line is a road to ride. Rock Island Line is a mighty good road. If you're going to ride it, got to ride it like you finally get your ticket at the station for the Rock Island Line. Well, the engineer said before he died, there were 2 more drinks he'd like to try. The doctor asked, what could they be? A hot cup of coffee and a cold glass of tea. Well, the Rock Island Line is a mighty good road. Rock Island Line is a road to ride. Rock Island Line is a mighty good road. If you're going to ride it, got to ride like you finally get your ticket at the station for the Rock Island Line. Get your ticket at the station for the Rock Island Line. Which reminds me, oh, no, we're not going to go there. We're going to go Sandy Gray. Sandy Gray, a young man who is a tad reckless. In the melting snows of Ontario, where the wind will make you shiver. It was the month of May, up in the Georgian Bay, near the mouth of the Musquash River, where the bears prowl and the coyotes howl, and you can hear the ospreys scream. Back in '99, we were cutting pine and sending it down the stream, boy, sending it down the stream. Young Sandy Gray came from Go Home Bay, all the way from PEI, where the weather's rough and it makes you tough, and no man's afraid to die. Sandy came a-smiling, 30,000 Islands was the place to claim his glory. Now Sandy's gone, but his name lives on. This is Sandy's story. This is Sandy's story. Young Sandy Gray lives on today in the echoes of a mighty yell. Listen close and you'll hear a ghost in this story that I tell, boys, this story that I tell. Now, Sandy Gray was the boss of men who tossed the trees onto the shore. They'd come and go till they built a flow, 100,000 logs or more, and then ride them down to Severn Sound to cut them up in the mills for timber. And the ships would haul spring, summer, and fall till the ice came in December, One Sabbath day, Big Sandy Gray came into camp with a PV on his shoulder. With a thunder crack, he dropped his axe, and the room got a little bit colder. He said, come on, all of you, we got work to do. We got to give her all we can give her. There's a log of jams at the little jog near the mouth of the Musquash River, With no time to pray on the Lord's day, they were hoping for God's forgiveness. But the jam was high in a troubled sky, and they set about their business. They pulled with poles and they ran with the rolls and tried to stay on their feet. Every trick they tried, one man cried, this log jam's got us beat, boys. This log jam's got us beat. But Sandy Gray was not afraid, and he let out a mighty yell. I'll be damned, we'll break this jam, or it's breakfast in hell, boys, breakfast in hell. Now, every one of the men did the work of 10, and Sandy scrambled up to the top. He was working like a dog, heaving 30-foot logs, and it looked like he'd never stop. They struggled on, these men so strong, till the jam began to sway. Then they dove for cover on the banks of the river, all except Sandy Gray. Now with thoughts of death, they held their breath as they saw their friend go down. They all knew in a second or two he'd be crushed or frozen or drowned. They saw him fall and they heard him call just once and then it was over. Young Sandy Gray gave his life that day near the mouth of the Musquash River. But Sandy Gray was not afraid and he let out a mighty yell. I'll be damned, we'll break this jam or it's breakfast in hell, boys, breakfast in hell. But Sandy Gray was not afraid and he let out a mighty yell. I'll be damned, we'll break this jam or it's breakfast in hell, boys, breakfast in hell. It was breakfast in hell for Sandy Gray. Sad but true. Okay, how about Garth Brooks' Rodeo? A story of a man addicted to a sport. His eyes are cold and restless. His wounds have almost healed. And she'd give half of Texas just to change the way he feels. He knows his love's in Tulsa. He knows he's gonna go. But it ain't no woman, flesh and blood. It's that damned old rodeo. Well, it's bulls and blood. It's a dust and mud. It's the roar of a Sunday crowd. It's the white in his knuckle. The gold and the buckle. He'll win the next go round. It's boots and chaps. It's cowboy hats. It's spurs and a lot of go. It's the ropes and the reins and the jaw and the pain. And they call the thing rodeo. Well, she does her best to hold him when his love comes a call. But as need for it controls a man, her back's against the wall. And it's so long, girl, I see ya when it's time for him to go. You know, the woman wants her cowboy like he wants his rodeo. And it's bulls and blood, it's a dust and mud, it's a roar of a Sunday crowd. It's a white in his knuckles, the gold in the buckle, he'll win the next go round. It's boots and chaps, it's cowboy hats, it's spurs and a lot of go. It's the ropes and the reins and the jaw and the pain, and they call the thing a rodeo. It'll drive a cowboy crazy. It'll drive a man insane. And he'll sell off everything he owns just to pay to play the game. And a broken home and some broken bones is all he'll have to show for all the years that he's been chasing the dream they call rodeo. Well, it's bones and blood, it's a dust and mud, it's a roar of a Sunday crowd. It's the white in his knuckles, the gold in the buckle, he'll win the next go round. It's boots and chaps, it's cowboy hats, it's spurs and a lot of go. It's the ropes and the reins and the jaw and the pain, and they call the thing a rodeo. It's the broncs and the blood, it's the steers and the mud, and they call the thing rodeo. Oh, let's do this. Little Otis Redding story about a man by himself in a strange town, sitting in the morning sun, and I'll be sitting when the evening come, watching the ships roll in, and then I watch them roll away again. Yeah, I'm sitting on the dock of the bay, I'm watching the tide roll away. I'm sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. I left my home in Georgia, headed for the Frisco Bay. 2,000 miles I roamed just to make this dock my home. Lord, I'ma sit on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. Looks like nothing's gonna change. Nothing seems to stay the same, Lord. Sitting here resting my bones, and this loneliness won't leave me alone. 2,000 miles I roamed just to make this dock my home, Lord. I'm gonna sit on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. Do, 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 do. Still can't think of the song by the Band of Heathens. I only know one of their songs. Searching Heathen in my computer does not help me much. Okay, forget that. Old 55. I haven't sang that song for 3 months, I bet. Well, my time went so quickly, went lickety splickety, out to my own 55. As I pulled away slowly, I'm feeling so holy. God knows I was feeling alive. Now the sun's coming up. I'm riding with Lady Luck. A freeway, cars and trucks, stars beginning to fade as I lead the parade. Just a wishing I'd have stayed a little longer. Oh Lord, let me tell you that the feeling's getting stronger. At 6 in the morning, gave me no warning. I had to be on my way. Well, there's trucks all a passing and lights all a flashing. I'm on my way home from your place. And now the sun's coming up. I'm riding with Lady Luck. A freeway, cars and trucks, stars beginning to fade as I lead the parade. Just a wishing I'd have stayed a little longer. Oh Lord, let me tell you, the feeling's getting stronger. And my time went so quickly, I went lickety splickety out to my own 55. As I pulled away slowly, I'm feeling so holy. God knows I was feeling alive. And now the sun's coming up. I'm riding with Lady Luck. A freeway, cars and trucks. A freeway, cars and trucks. Let's try this. On the Dark Side by John Cafferty. The dark side's calling now, nothing is real. She'll never know just how I feel. From out of the shadows, she walked like a dream. Made me feel crazy, made me feel so mean. Ain't nothing gonna save you from a love that's blind. Slip to the dark side and cross that line. On the dark side, oh yeah. On the dark side, oh yeah. The dark side's calling now, nothing is real. She'll never know just how I feel. From out of the shadows, she walks like a dream. Made me feel crazy, made me feel so mean. Ain't nothing gonna save you from a love that's blind. Slip to the dark side and cross that line. On the dark side, oh yeah. On the dark side, oh yeah. Ain't nothing gonna save you from a love that's blind. Slip to the dark side and cross that line. On the dark side, oh yeah. 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 How about we'll do this. Well, I'm tired and so weary, but I must go alone until the Lord comes and calls me away. Oh, yes. Where the morning is bright and the lamb is alive, and the night, a night is as dark as the sea. Oh, yes. There will be peace in the valley for me someday. There will be peace in the valley for me. Oh Lord, I pray there'll be no sadness, no sorrow, no trouble. All I'll see, there will be peace in the valley for me someday. Well, the bear will be gentle, and the wolf will be tame, and the lion shall lay down by the lamb. Oh, yes. And the beast from the wild shall be led by a child, and I'll be changed, changed from this creature that I am. Oh, yes. There will be peace in the valley for me someday. There will be peace in the valley for me. Oh Lord, I pray there'll be no sadness, no sorrow, no trouble I'll see. There will be peace in the valley for me someday. And there will be peace in the valley for me. Oh Lord, I pray. Okay, that was fun. See you tomorrow.